Okay, this is on now. Yeah, this past weekend, I was in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I flew back this morning to Los Angeles. Chattanooga was a surprising place, man. I thought I'd passed through there years ago, and it was pretty run down, you know? A lot of like miscreants and dudes. White dudes walking with their arms like hanging out front of them real low. Like they're barely, second or third up the evolutionary chain. Not fully upright. Kind of like a bunch of fucking Muppets walking around like that, A bunch of drugged out Muppets kind of downtown. Needed a good pressure washing. City looked deserted. This time, beautiful city. Blew my mind. If you haven't been to Chattanooga, I know it sounds crazy. I recommend it. I was a little weary because the thing is like the Chattanooga Choo Choo. That's their big thing, which is a train. It was one of the first trains that went from the north to the south. I mean, it went from Cincinnati to Chattanooga. So I think anyway. But that doesn't seem super north to south to me. But I mean, this is Tennessee, so I don't think we got a lot of legitimate GPS artists or map owners running around over there. But anyway, it was unique, man. Now it's gorgeous. It blew my mind. They have a bridge that they shut down from cars. It's like an old bridge across the Tennessee River, a huge river. I mean, huge. The bridge must be probably a quarter mile long, and it's just people walking across it. Bikers and people and animals, dogs, a couple of birds out there, but stunning. Anyway, stunning place. They invested apparently in the internet a while back, into like fiber optics cables, I'm guessing. I don't know. But that's what they say. And the internet there is like high speed, dude. Like the kind of internet that you dream about, that you hope you're going to get, Not this waiting 4 seconds for everything you want to find out like we're using now. So that's pretty wild. That was pretty wild to be there and see that internet. But then the irony is they got so many people there that are mentally just fucking barely scraping it together. Barely not animals. You had some people that are barely not animals, Like, if they didn't have a driver's license on them, you might think they could be an animal, Like, you wouldn't be surprised if some of the people you're talking to just bent over and started eating grass. I mean, they had some dudes that didn't even know the whole alphabet, But in addition to that, they also have a lot of people that's there doing big things and a lot of outdoor activities. I mean, you can mountain climb, you can kayak. Beautiful bridges. If you're going to jump off a bridge, if you're thinking about, doing that, that's the place. Freaking somebody outside's cutting grass, dude. Back in Los Angeles where you hear everything. So anyway, that was great, man. I was at the Comedy Catch there. Had people that came out from Ohio. Had a woman that came down from Ohio. With her 2 nephews. I had people that flew in from Tampa. I had people that drove over from Nashville, Knoxville, Murfreesboro to come out to see the show. So that was pretty amazing. Worked with some great guys over there. This one dude, DJ Lewis, the feature, he's just a work of art, man. He reminds you of the bad guys from A Time to Kill. Remember those 2 guys in the beginning? You barely kind of really get to know much about them. But he's a good guy. Really animated, funny. Him and the other guy, Luke, that we worked together. It was good. Good show. Good group. But yeah, I mean, so Chattanooga, they got the choo-choo. Which is weird to even hear adults saying the term choo-choo. You're talking to somebody that's 50 or something, and they're saying choo-choo over and over again. It seems you don't trust them, You're kind of like, what's this dude seems like a fucking, maybe a closet pedophile or something, because they're talking about a train. And then people sleep in the train. You can rent out a room, like part of the hotel feature there at the Chattanooga Choo Choo Hotel. Geez, I can't even say it without laughing. Is that you can rent out a train car. So you got people sleeping and eating in train cars, but they're not homeless. Like in any other city, that's homelessness. That is, people that are sleeping and eating in train cars are homeless. But in Tennessee, in Chattanooga, Tennessee, these people they're on vacation. They're living their life. You hear that cat? You hear that cat outside? I don't know if you guys could hear it or not. I'm going to get some recording equipment. The shit I had broke. So I'm using this. This is just some gimmicky deal I found on the iPhone that has something like this. So that's what I'm using. Just one of those recorder programs. But yeah, I went to Chattanooga. I was there Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, 4 nights. Some beautiful architecture. I mean, there's a bar there, a restaurant called the Flying Squirrel, that has to be one of the most beautiful, restaurants I've ever been in. It's small, but amazing. And yeah, it's just one of those towns where you immediately feel comfortable in the sense that everybody's super welcoming. They got they got, they just got, they got a minor league baseball team. It was awesome. That was awesome. But then some of the people that show up to the shows, they're kind of set in the past. They don't know. You can't talk about current events. They don't know what a lot of things are. A lot of their education that they got and things they still remember were from their childhood. And now a lot of them are just working and eating and shitting and then going back to work, and raising families. Just, a lot of great places to Sunday fun day, people drinking outside, doing that. I don't do that very much. Sunday, I'll try to get to church, or I'll, just try to gear up for the weekend, for the week. But anyway, and then you got East Chattanooga. I went into a gas station, and they had a black lady working in there, and she had beautiful hairdo. And not the kind, some black ladies get that hairdo that's very, looks like a fancy spinner bait. You know what I'm talking about? Like one of those fancy fishing lures. Like their whole head looks like that sometimes. And some kind of thuggish white ladies will get it too, or some lesbians will get it, but it's more of a black lady hair thing. But this lady just had beautiful hair. And I was like, oh, your hair looks beautiful. And she goes, yeah, well, if I get murdered, it ain't going to be that beautiful, is it? And I was like, what? This is such a strange response. And then she said, yeah, 3 people got murdered over in East Chatty. And I guess East Chatty is like East Chattanooga. Some people call the whole place the Chatty. Which is ironic, because a lot of people there don't really know a lot of words. So anyway, that was that, man. Chattanooga. The Comedy Catch was great. That's the club there that I worked at. The staff is amazing. Some beautiful ladies working there. Great owner. Good people. But yeah, it's a city that's 2 totally different types of people. You either have these outgoing, outdoorsy, cutting edge, kind of high internet, fiber optic startup, kind of little companies and things, and those types of people that come with that. Or you got people that are, just dressing like slave owners and, barely muddling around much more than, a 12th grade education. So it's interesting, man. But everybody was friendly. Everybody was friendly, and it's a city that I recommend you check out if you haven't. Chattanooga, Tennessee. Yeah, one girl came into the shows. She was wasted last night. I mean, pretty funny. She kept saying the word absolutely over and over again, which was pretty funny. Went up on Chattanooga on Lookout Mountain. There's a lot of Civil War stuff around Chattanooga, like a lot of, people were fighting here kind of thing. Went up there. Apparently my mother used to live up there with her first husband. And it was a beautiful house. I took some pictures of the outside and sent them to her. And beautiful home, which was totally contradictory to where we grew up in Louisiana. I mean, the home that I grew up in was, this apartment was a real shithole. So I don't know how my mother went from one extreme. I mean, I'm talking on the top of a, 2,000 feet up in the air on a mountain in a beautiful home with a lookout where you could probably see 7 states from her back porch. Because on that mountain, you can see 7 states from one spot. Pretty cool. To how we ended up growing up in our environment. So, I don't know. I definitely got a few questions for my mother. But hey, I got to give it to her. She didn't act like she'd been spoiled. I mean, I don't know. She didn't act like she'd been spoiled. So, yeah, a lot of brothers too out there in Chattanooga. It's your good kind of southern white black city. Saw that guy outside of the service station. You ever see that guy at the service station? There's a black outside of every service station, almost in America. Who is that guy? I can't. I mean, like who? And how is that guy like? It's totally okay. Yeah. He's always like, hey, 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 hey. You know that guy. If you don't know who he is, drive to the service station in your town, anywhere in America, and he's there. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, hey, let me get that guy, dude. Unbelievable. But he's definitely very prevalent in Chattanooga. You can see him around and about. Then I get home today. And I'm watching. Did you see this Johnny Depp and his girlfriend or wife? Maybe. I don't know. I know he traded his first wife in recently or not long ago. He got, Johnny Depp got, he did this video. Apparently he and his wife brought pets into New Zealand. So they released this really weird video where he's like this, like trying to not kind of move his mouth when he talks, how he just tries to seem as mysterious as possible. Like he looks like the guy who like could have done any crime, like a high-end crime. Could have been done by him, or maybe low end too, even sometimes. But part of his mystique, he seems to just kind of like not say much. But yeah, and then they're apologizing for bringing their animals in with false papers or whatever, and I think it was New Zealand. Pinto and Lama Bean, I think, are the animals' names. If you haven't seen it, go out there on YouTube. It's pretty interesting. So. But yeah, I had a good time in Chattanooga. I'm glad that I went. Thankful to everybody that came out to the shows. It's just back on the grind this weekend. Freaking get back out here to LA. And I get in an Uber on the way home. And first I saw Aries Spears at the airport. And TMZ was talking to him about something. And he didn't want to talk to him. And then a different TMZ guy came by who I guess Aries knew. Who's like the regular guy at the airport, and then he was okay talking to him. Met a cute girl at the baggage claim. That was kind of nice. But then I get in the Uber, and the Uber driver's like, first he's telling me how he played soccer one time with Rod Stewart, this guy and the Uber driver's from Uruguay, and he's going on and on and on. Just filling me with stats on South American culture. And then he says they had an earthquake at 2 different points recently, and that we're going to have an earthquake here this week. That's what he said. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, I keep up on a lot of this stuff. And I'm like, what do you mean you keep up on this? Like, who's fucking watching Earth, like, what are you doing, You're hunting earthquake. What are you doing? You're pinpointing these things. So I don't know, bro. It was quite a weekend. That was that. That was really this past weekend. I got drunk one night. Uh, there was some, there was, there was people smoking a little bit of dope. Took a hit on a little bit of green here and there. Kept it pretty classy. A lot of good food. I had a chicken piccata that would fucking... I'd rip one of my arms off to have another plate of it right now. I would literally rip one of my arms off and just throw it somewhere. I've given in to going to yoga. I need to go to a yoga class, I decided. I'm just looking kind of bunchy. You ever notice that? Some guys don't have it. If you're tall and like romantic looking, you don't have to worry about that shit. But the rest of us, sometimes we get looking a little bit bunchy. I'm looking kind of like just looking bunchy in the neck and shit. And I'm already kind of, built like that a little, like real, I got medium arms and I'm built kind of medium length arms, my arms don't go as far as they kind of should. So I'm definitely bunchy in the chest and all. So I got to go and try to work on that a little. I just worry that like my veins are going to get tangled up and shit. So I don't know. Maybe I'm out of my mind. But that was this past weekend. I'll have another weekend next weekend, and I'll drop some information on Monday and let you know how that went as well. But thanks for listening. I'm headed to Sunnyvale this weekend, wherever that is in California. I know it's near San Jose, but I don't know. It's like tech country, a lot of tech artists and people that work for Yahoo and that and AOL and everything. So I don't know what that's going to be like, really. Hopefully the internet will be high speed. This place could challenge Chattanooga. We'll see. And then next weekend, oh, and then I'm going to Tempe in a couple weeks. Tempe Improv. You can get tickets for that. My Allegedly podcast with my partner Matt Weiss. My co-host Matt Weiss comes out tonight on iTunes. And that's it, man. God bless you guys. I've been thinking a lot about how, a lot of times I don't feel like doing things. And I've started to realize that it's not about how I feel. It's about what do I need to do. And sometimes I wish, I'm sure a lot of guys already know that and a lot of people already practice that. I just feel like I'm kind of learning that in my life. That sometimes life ain't about how you feel. Because a lot of times you ain't going to feel like doing shit. But it's more about, what you need. What do you really need right now? What do you need to do best? No matter how you feel, go do that. Get your life done. Keep it moving. Stay confident. Stay positive. Do your best to love yourself, whatever that means. In every way. Take care of yourself. Tell your mother you love her. These are just little things passing through my head right now. I got to go to this yoga. It's the last thing that I want to do. The last thing that I want to do is be in there fighting off passing gas for 45 minutes around a bunch of people I don't know. And I can't decide if I want to wear sweatpants or shorts, so that's kind of bothering me a little bit. Life. A lot of choices. Still got to undo my luggage. Everything's dirty. My bed, I can't remember if the sheets are clean or not, so I think I'm just going to risk it for another week. But anyhow, thank you guys for tuning in. If anybody did, if you have any questions or whatever, I'll make sure to get to them next week. And this has been this past weekend. I'm Theo Vaughn. God bless you.